All right, so today we're going to be looking over UFC fighters who I think will have success if they move weight classes. Most of these guys we're looking at, they're going to be moving up. It's kind of hard to justify someone moving down. I feel like we don't get a lot of guys who are just kind of just not cutting as much weight or can cut more weight. A lot of guys I feel like are cutting to their limits. Like specifically Vinicius Oliveira, that's one guy cutting all the way down to 135 when he weighs 185 out of camp. He's already 185 a week after his fights. Someone like Jolton Almeida could move down, which he did. He said he was going to before he got cut. That's another one. But we also had some recent weight moves. We had like Mekdebek Orobai moving up to 170 after you're struggling with the 155 cut. We have a Joel Alvarez, same thing with him, moved up to 170. They look good in both their fights there. Luque for Alvarez, kind of boring fight, but he did look good. And then Mekdebek Orobai knocked out Jack Hermanson in the first round. Terrible move from Jack Hermanson. Just got courted at 185, and then 5 months later, less than 5 months later, you go down a weight class, 15 pounds, which I don't think he's ever fought there before in the UFC at least, and gets absolutely coated. We had Vitor Bertrino moving up to 265 also. He's got, I think, 2 subs in there. Or no, a sub and a knockout in his fights at 265, and he looks fucking jacked. He looks absolutely just crazy. And then also Bryce Mitchell moving down to 135. That's someone who moved down, but I think there's not a lot of guys who can really move down. Most of these guys are going to need to eat and bulk up. So let's get straight into it. First up, the only one on this list I think about moving down. I know I didn't said it in a lot, but Arman Tsarukyan. He said if he doesn't get the title shot at 155, which I think he has to get the winner of Gaethje Ilya, so just get Ilya. He probably fight BSD next, I think, but he has to get the fucking Ilya fight. Like unless Ilya moves up after he beats Justin. Okay, but Arman has to fight for the title after one more fight. At least at the end of the year, end of the year, he has to fight for the title. It's bullshit. He should be fighting for it already, but obviously they had the interim, whole bunch of bullshit. Because they were supposed to do Ilya Patty for 324, but Ilya had the whole divorce shit. So we could have got Ilya Arman White House or something like that, but whatever. We didn't get it. So Arman next one. He said 145. He said he thinks about it. He said his coach Cal, his strength and conditioning coach, they ran a lot of tests, and he said it's doable, which seems crazy. He's already a lot of muscle. He's already ripped at 155. It would be crazy to do. But his strength coach is like a well-renowned strength coach in the MMA world. I think he worked with Hamzat and stuff. He worked with Pico. I don't know who else he worked with. I think he helped TJ Dillashaw get to 125. I think that's him. So maybe he does it, but I just think it would be smart. You're just draining yourself too much. Arman has very good like strength, durability, cardio, chin, all that stuff is very good on him. 155, one going down to 145 to kind of deplete that. But say he does go down there, I think he'd beat everyone in the division. Like he'd get a big rank matchup. I think he beats Gene Silva if his chin holds up. I'd say I think he beats Gene Silva, beats an Arnold Allen. He would beat Aljo. He'd beat Yair. I think he beat Murphy. I think his pressure, he beat Lopez. I think he could beat all these guys. Even Volk, because Volk's at the later stage of his career. I think if he actually want to make a shot at 145, he could do it, but I just don't think it would be wise. I feel like he would end up being drained at 145 if he were to choose that. So next up, we got Robert Whittaker, who's in talks about moving up to 205. And he says he weighs, I think he was saying he weighs 235 pounds right now. And he's a small guy. We saw in the RDR fight, he's a small guy in there at middleweight now. Not too small, but like just compared to the newer age middleweights, like a guy like even RDR is fucking huge. I put him on this list later on. Talk about him a little bit. RDR is huge, but Robert Whittaker, he's fought at 170 before, but he had struggles making that weight. 185, he's struggling to make that weight cut now because he's so thick and bulky. Maybe it helps because he has good wrestling defense. He is a good striker. He's fast. He's got to have a skill advantage at 205. His chin, that's the only problem. Robert Whittaker, maybe his chin gets better because he's been a little depleted, but he's been getting hurt like most of his fights recently. Like, as far as his whole career, he's been getting hurt to the chin. So, that's, if he's weighing at 235, you're not going to make a 50-pound cut, bro. That's fucked up. You're going to fuck yourself up. So, I mean, I think I'm interested in seeing him at 205. He is, how tall is he? He is, where is he? 6 feet tall. And his reach is only 6'2", 6'1.5". It's not great when we look at the light heavyweight division right here. Fucking Yuri, dude. Like, what's he ranked? He's ranked 9. Damn, he's all the way down at 9. So say you get someone in the range of like these guys. A Mirzakhanov, bro. That would be an interesting fight because Mirzakhanov's like what, 5'10"? Actually, he could do good. Whittaker against like these guys out here, I think. Like a Reyes and below. He could maybe do good. Maybe. Because these guys are a little bit chinny, like Walker, like Rakic, like Reyes, like Krylov. A little chinny, you know? And they've been knocked out by smaller guys. Mirzakhanov just knocked out Rakic in the first round. Maybe Whittaker does that. Guskov would be very tough, though. Guskov does keep his hands down. Uzdemir, I think Uzdemir would just fucking, like, kind of just maraud at you. Jamal Hill, I think Jamal's too flat-footed. I think you'd be susceptible to that blitz, honestly. And Mirzakhanov, Blachowicz, I think those guys are just too big and too powerful and skilled along with it for Robert Whittaker. I mean, I'm interested to see. I think it would be interesting to see him there against these bigger guys at light heavyweight. It's a big jump. He'd have, like I said, skill, speed advantage, but the chin, the power, like, he's not a powerful guy at 185. He's not going to be powerful at 205, I don't think. So this is something, it's interesting, but I'm not banking. I'm not confident in Robert Whittaker at this weight. So next up, Brandon Royval at 135. You know, he's been talking about it for a little bit. He's a big guy. He's 5'9", I think. Yeah, 5'9". Got his reach, he does have T-Rex arms. But he's long, he's lengthy, he plays at range. He's got good all-around skill. But his last 2 fights, you know, he gets pieced up by 5'2" Josh Van. He gets fucking courted by what? 5'6", 5'7" Manal Kape. I don't know if he struggles with the weight cut. He was thinking about it after the Van fight, I remember. Going up to he's been thinking about it for a while. But I just think he's too small. He is the frame for it, but can he put on the proper muscle? Like I said, you have a speed advantage around a lot of these guys at bantamweight, but it's like, I think guys like a Merab, a Umar, an O'Malley, a Yadong, a Payton Talbott, even a Bautista, I think these guys are just too big. You know, he has a lot of these first ones I'm talking about people who have teased the move already. They've teased it. Then I have some that are just my own things, whatever. So I think he could have success skill-wise, but I think when it comes to the wrestling, at least, or even just people marching forward toward him, Brandon Royval is not a powerful guy. I think that would hold him back there as well. He's not some crazy wrestler. I think against like these top guys, I think he'd have problems with the physicality. I honestly feel like he'd have a physicality difference there. Seeing Ragdoll by Pantoja, I think the wrestlers in the division with Ragdoll, I'm like Mario Bautista, great wrestling, great grappling. Payton Talbott's a big motherfucker. He's in this video as well later on. But I think Brandon Royval, just stay at flyweight, honestly. Next up, Sean O'Malley moving to 145. I know he's hinted at this before. I don't know if he's hinted at it recently because he just did get a win against Yadong. He might be in line for a title shot. But the one thing about this, I think he could have success striking. I think he'd be fine, honestly. I think Sean O'Malley, he's taken big shots before. I think his chin would be fine. But it's the wrestling. We saw in the second round of the Yadong fight. Maybe it's the power, like the scare of the power from Yadong and the boxing ranges maybe made him susceptible to more takedowns. But he's been thrown around by Merab as well. So O'Malley, he has a frame for it. Maybe he bulks up a little bit. But again, you take him to featherweight. He could beat all these guys in a striking battle. He could. He's skilled there. He's actually, after that, seeing that third round of the Yadong fight, it kind of reminded me and other people, I feel, how good he is of a striker when he gets that flow state and finds his range, finds his shots, can move well, gets that confidence going. He could beat any of these guys in a striking battle, but the wrestling. The same thing with Lively. The physicality of the wrestling. A Movsar, bro. A Lopez. Lopez is going to march forward, bro. And Sean O'Malley doesn't have as good lateral movement as Volk. And like the in and out ability. He does. It's close, but I don't know. I don't know if it's on that level of Volk. It's not on that level of Volk. But like an Aljo, I mean, he already beat Aljo, but even Aljo at 145, maybe it's a little different there. Aljo's healthy. Yes, like he could do a Steve Garcia. He could beat a guy like that. He could beat these guys down here. He could have a competitive fight with Yair, which is something I would love to see. Yair versus O'Malley. That would be an amazing fight at 145. That was very well matched because Yair Rodrigues is like a little like a little stick figure. He's like a soybean. Kind of, I feel like he's not that strong and physically imposing. I think that could be interesting. A Laurel Murphy fight could be interesting. I think he could give a lot of these guys tough fights, but it's just a wrestling. Again, the wrestling is going to be a problem for these guys. Now for someone I have high confidence in, Michael Morales. He's still untested, but he's fucking a genetic specimen. You know? He's crazy. 6'3", he's big, he's powerful, he's super athletic, which can translate. He's got speed. He just fought against Sean Brady, a very capable grappler. He didn't even let him get close. Can't let you get close. He didn't let him get close, and he knocks him out in the first round. Sean Brady's not the biggest guy at 170, but that's why I want to see Morales versus like a Gary, which he's not going to move divisions anytime soon. He said he wants to go to 185 after he wins a 170 belt, but I want to see him against like an Islam, a JDM, a Shavkat if Shavkat ever comes back, a Gary, even a Protest. Kind of see him against these bigger, longer guys, especially like Islam and a Shavkat, who will probably try the grappling a little more. Maybe Gary tries some grappling, but I think Gary's he's not, like again, he's a little bit of a soybean, I feel like. I keep saying this to Ian Gary. If he fights Morales, I feel like he's susceptible to being bullied. I see it in the Bilal fight with Ian Gary. I feel like he's able to be pushed back and just kind of bullied. I don't really see it in the Shavkat one, but I just feel like for a guy like Morales, who's even more physically imposing than Shavkat, like way more, and is going to like, part of his game plan is going to be like bully you, Michael Morales, and just wear it on you. I feel like Ian Gary is going to be susceptible to that. But whatever. I want to see Morales versus like a Islam, a Protest, a Shavkat. If Shavkat comes back healthy and 100% before he moves a division, I want to really be confident in his abilities moving up, because he weighs I think he weighed in at 212 pounds. He showed a little while ago. It's 42 pounds. Probably, obviously, he's like one of those guys. Like by the time he gets to camp, he's probably around 195, 200 pounds, maybe even a little more. So he's cutting like 30, 35 pounds maybe instead of 40, 45, which is still a shit ton. But it's like one of those guys like Vinny Oliveira, who it's not smart, but Michael Morales does not look even close to being drained like Vinny at that weight class. And if you look at his numbers, like 6'2" or 6 foot, oh no, he's only 6 foot tall. He's gotta be like 6'3". He got a 67-inch reach, or 6'7" reach. 6'7". That's a big reach. That's a big enough reach. And we look at, he has potential at 2 weight classes, middleweight and light heavyweight. We look at middleweight. These guys he could beat. Let's look in the top 5. Look in the top 5. You have Brennan Allen. I think he could beat Brennan Allen. Fluffy. I think if he implements more kicks into his game, honestly, Michael Morales, and more body work, he could beat the shit out of Fluffy, honestly. That's one thing with Morales. I want to see more of his wrestling, his grappling, and his cardio, because he's such a big, explosive guy. I want to see more of his cardio. But I think he could beat all these guys. Strickland would be probably maybe a hard matchup, because Strickland's so good defensively, and he's the good wrestling fundamentals, the good grappling. So if Michael Morales wants to implement that, it'll be tough. Imovov's a sniper. Dricus is a goober, but he's also very big. But Michael Morales is only, 26? So you give him time to develop and a lot more experience. Say he wins a belt. Say he beats a Islam or beats a Shavkat, beats Gary, beats all these major guys, and he shows a lot of potential and more skill, because he didn't show a lot of skill. He's shown more just physical prowess, I guess you could say, over these guys at welterweight. Say he shows more skill, I could pick him to get a lot of these middleweight guys out of there, and say he bulks up, so it's like still 30, 35 pound weight cut, but he's even bigger when he's in the cage. Same thing could go for light heavyweight. A lot of these guys on their way out. Pereira, by the time he gets up there, say it's 5-6 years before he fights at light heavyweight, a lot of these guys will probably be a year. You might be out of there. Ankalaev, Olberg, Khalil, Blachowicz, Mirzakhanov, all these guys will be out of there. Uzdemir, Reyes, Walker, all these guys will probably be out of there. It'll probably be a whole new light heavyweight division in year 2031, 2032. Morales could still be around. He'll be, 31, 32? Say he wins about a welterweight, because he outlives these guys, or outlives like Islam, and he beats anyone else in the division. Middleweight, Hamzat's out of there. He beats some guys up at their middleweight and then goes up to light heavyweight and just comes a 3 division. He has 3 division champ potential. Like same thing with Ilya. Ilya's a little bit different. I feel like he'd be of a weight disadvantage at 170 against Islam and any other guy because he's so small. But Michael Morales has a frame even for light heavyweight. His long ass arms. He's gonna be fine height wise. 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", around that height. He'll be just fine. It's just the bulky. Like if he puts on a lot of muscle, say he gets to 230, puts on a lot of muscle and he has to cut 25 pounds to get to light heavyweight. Like come on, he could be a motherfucker in that division. It's just a skill wise. I'm interested to see the grappling and all that. More of a striking, but especially the grappling for him. Next up, we got Beneil Dariush to 170. It's gonna be a good move, you know. He's got skill. He's all around skill. He's got good on the feet. Very good grappling, wrestling, and maybe his chin gets a little better. And you put him up against some guys who have shown not the most amazing grappling. Put him against a Joaquin Buckley, a Prates, you know. But honestly, with Beneil Dariush, that'll be the dumbest decision of your career. You're already getting put ass up, face down versus BSD, getting knocked out in a minute or in the first round by Arman and Charles. Dude, like I know he was floating this idea around. That would be the dumbest shit you could do. It's like an automatic knockout. There's rumor going around that he's facing Manuel Torres. Again, don't accept that shit because I feel like it's for Beneil. It's either Manuel Torres. Like not even Ferziam, Manuel Torres, or like killing Salkilled. You're gonna get courted either way, bro. Going up to 170 is not gonna help it either. It's just like you can't escape the inevitable with Beneil Dariush. So I feel bad for him, but because what is he ranked? 12. He go up against he's getting courted at 170 if he ever tries that. But that's one I wanted to throw in there, just for funsies. Next up, Payton Talbott. Again, young guy. What is he? What's his age? 27. He's had a lot of time. He's shown the ability to improve. He's only debuted less than 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, less than 2.5 years ago. He's 5'10", got a 5'11" reach about. So he's got a nice frame. He's big. He looks big in the octagon. Against Cejudo, he looked pretty big. Against all these guys, he looks like a nice size. He's a nice size dude. So Payton Talbott. You know, he's obviously great striking. I feel like he's a little defensively. He could get a lot better striking wise. Offensively, he's great. He has power, which could carry on. But he's. I feel like he keeps his head on the center line a little bit. He's susceptible to like shots coming from the right hands of opponents. So I feel like that could be a little iffy. But he's shown an ability to improve. His grappling, his scrambles have looked good. His get-up ability, his wrestlings look good. Against Cejudo, I know Cejudo was not the craziest MMA grappler and wrestler, but against Lima, it looked good. I know Barcelos about a little over a year ago, controlled him completely for their fight. But he's only 27. Say he moves up to 145. It could be like an O'Malley situation where maybe the physicality gap isn't there. But he's 27. He could outlive a lot of these guys. Outlive a Movsar, a Larone, an Aljo. So he may be matched up with a lot of strikers. You know, Yusuf Zalal is probably going to be in there still. Vallejos is going to be in there. You have Yair's going to be up there. Lopez probably still going to be there. Gene Silva, Arnold Allen maybe. Steve Garcia. You know, I think he could give it's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing with O'Malley. In the striking battles with these guys, I think he could beat anyone. Honestly, like a striking fight. But same thing with the wrestling. Maybe the physicality difference is a little too much. But honestly, I have confidence in Payton Talbott a little more than O'Malley. I feel like he just looks a little thicker in the octagon. I feel like he could be a little more filled out and have some more strength in there than Sean O'Malley. So it's kind of the same thing with him. That's someone I want to throw in there because I feel like he has the frame to move up. Next up, two guys who are pretty similar. I'll start with the first one, Johnny Walker. I know a lot of people have been telling him and this next guy who is Rakic, him and Rakic. I'll display both of them at the same time, both him and Rakic, to 265 heavyweight. Johnny Walker is reportedly beefing with Walter Walker because Walter Walker kind of called him out, said Johnny Walker, I'm not going to didn't come to support me for my fight with the half-person Geo dude, Zion Clark. I don't know. And Johnny Walker's like, my wife just had a baby or some shit like that. I'm going to come watch my brother fight a disabled guy, blah, blah, blah. So he called him out. He called Johnny Walker out to come to the 205 division, fight him. Honestly, I think Johnny Walker could win that. Walter Walker, he lost to Lucas Brzezek. Lucas, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. The guy who's 1-6 in the UFC and got his guard passed like this by Ryan Spann. But whatever. So Johnny Walker, we could see him at 265 one day. I know he's fighting Reyes, which that's such an interesting fight. I really don't know who's going to win. That's like first one to land just wins. The other one explodes. Their head just explodes. So they're both big guys. They're both big, long, rangy guys. Pretty athletic, especially Walker. The only thing with them is like their chin. Like what? That's the only thing with them. Their chin. They'll have a skill advantage, they'll have a speed advantage, athleticism advantage over these fat asses at heavyweight. Look at any of these guys like a Tybura, Lewis. I think they could beat any of these guys. Just make sure not to get hit. But then you get into Delija because Delija's fast. He's powerful. Spivak, they could maybe beat a Spivak. Rizvan Kuniev, I think Rizvan's actually pretty good. But then anyone else in the top, they lose. But you never know. Maybe they get sick of getting chinned ahead because Rakic hasn't had any success recently. Walker just got a win over Ming Yang, which was a very good win from him. Everyone thought that was like a lamb to a slaughter, coughing baby, hydrogen bomb. I thought that as well. I was like making videos on TikTok. I was like, Zhang Ming Yang's record is actually crazy. 19 wins, 19 first round finishes. He's gonna extend that to like 20 or whatever it was, whatever the number was. It was like 18, 19. He's gonna extend that this weekend against Johnny Walker, and then I was so confident Ming Yang just knock out Johnny Walker. But whatever, same thing with both of them. There's been people talking about them, urging them to go to 265, but like these guys it's just a chin. Like this one was a bad knockout. Like it was. Hello. All right, whatever. But bad knockout. I think just their chin is the only question for these two guys. But it would be interesting to see them there, see how they do against these blobs, and kind of style on these blobs, just out athlete them, you could say. Next up, we got RoboCop to 205. RoboCop is a humongous motherfucker. I don't know how much he weighs outside of camp, but it has to be like 230 pounds. I am a big dude. I'm 6'6", 225, 6'5", 225, whatever. We're about the same height, inch give or take. He is way thicker than me. In the legs, especially in the upper body. I have thick legs, but his upper body, I'm skinny. Like I'm a skinny dude. Upper body, bro. Fucking just, his gut is big. His arms are huge. Like, he looks inflated. I don't know how he makes the cut. He's been chinned before by Pereira, who's the rematch. It's an interesting, very fun rematch, honestly. And he has a good grappling skills as well. He's good on the feet, too. He's got power, obviously, but it's his chin. Like, is he chinny because of weight cut, or is he chinny because he's just chinny? Because he has to be cutting a shit ton of weight. A shit ton. Like, and this was... I met him at 317. So he fought that night. I see him. He was on my flight the next morning. So not that long from the weight cut. It's about 2 mornings, 48 hours since the weight cut. Maybe a little more. About 48 hours since the weight cut. Since he hit the weigh-in at 185. And I know he's probably rehydrated mostly, but he looked 230 pounds there. He looked way bigger than me there. I don't know how he does it. But again, it could be the same thing for Robert Whittaker. You go to 205, he could beat all these guys. He could have competitive fights with any one of these guys, I think, because he's dangerous on the feet and on the ground. But it's just his chin. Like, will his chin hold up? Like, he's seen chinny before. Will his chin hold up? He looked a little patient in his last fight with Kopylov, which was good. Not really rushing it. Maybe he does that good against these guys. A Gustav would be a crazy fun fight, because it's like, Gustav keeps his hands down. It's like, can RoboCop land? Can Gustav evade? Uzumir would be a fun one too. Just big motherfuckers, powerful motherfuckers. And Mirzakhanov, Blachowicz would be a good fight. But I think guys like Khalil, Mirzakhanov, Olberg, especially these guys up here, Khalil could be an interesting fight. But I think Mirzakhanov would probably beat him too. Interesting fight for him. But, I don't know. Another one I wanted to talk about, Reinier de Ridder. Again, I remember he was weighing like that Vancouver fight weighing in at 230 pounds, 25 pounds or whatever. It was 215 pounds, some range like that on the Tuesday of fight week. So, like, hello? That's a shit ton. It's a shit ton of weight. And he looked like bad against Bernard Allen. Because it was because of weight cuts and fighting so often. He looked bad. It wasn't like Bernard Allen beat him because Bernard Allen's more gooder. It's Reinier de Ridder, his weight cuts were just fucked. Like, it was just terrible. His blood work was, like, you could just tell something was wrong with him. But at 205, same thing, chin. Because his striking is so ass, honestly, and he leaves so much room open to be hit. I just wanted to include him here to talk, like, maybe he thinks about light heavyweight move. But this is all dangerous fights. Everyone here is dangerous for him because the power coming back. They could catch him when he goes for one of his knees where his hands are down here and he's like this, and his knees coming up. Like, that's one guy that's like, come on, dude. Come on with the chin, man. So next up, another one, Alex Pereira. Wanted to include him here because he will be moving weight classes soon. He's going to be the first triple champ in UFC history. He's going up to heavyweight. He's beating Sirigan for a belt. He'll beat Volkov. He'll beat Waldo Cortez Acosta if he gets that. And he's going to beat Tom Aspinall if Tom Aspinall ever is able to fight again. Alex Pereira is going to beat all these guys 100%. Not 100%, but I think he beats all of them, honestly. I just want to include him here to glaze. Now for his teammate, Yusri Belgaroui. 33 years old, 6'5", middleweight. Just beat the shit out of Bekoev. Showed, obviously, great striking, great jab, good kicks. Good takedown defense, and when he did get takedown, good get-up ability. We didn't see anything. And Bekoev's a big guy. He's a big, muscular dude. Maybe at 205 he has some success. He moves up to 205. He could beat all these guys. Maybe stay away from range against Guskov, against Ozdemir, Mirzakhanov. I want to see more of him, obviously. I haven't seen much of his kickboxing, but he's somebody that can make... Because he's big. He's 6'5", middleweight. Maybe go up. His chin's fine. I don't know his chin. I haven't seen his chin. I haven't seen much of his grappling. I want to see more when he has someone that gives him some trouble in the striking. Maybe Abdul Malik could do it. Give him more trouble in the grappling. Abdul Malik could do it. Maybe test his chin. Abdul Malik may be able to do it. So after this fight, I could give a more confident update if he'll do good at light heavyweight. Another one is Gustafsson. Maybe moving up to 185 because we saw it against Renat Fakhretdinov. Got knocked out in a minute. And a little baby punch, nothing crazy. Like he's like look, you just saw a fucking ghost. But he clearly cut a lot of weight that fight. He's a big motherfucker. He's a marauding merchant. I don't think he's that good, but maybe at 185 he could just have more success outside the rankings, just beating up on cans or whatever. Maybe just having fun fights, being a marauder. Because it looked like he was just his weight cut was so bad it started getting into that fluid in the brain, I think it's like cerebrospinal fluid that kind of cushions your brain. So if you don't have that, you're lacking that. You start taking away from that, you're way more susceptible to being chin like a crazy amount, I'm pretty sure. 185, but I don't think he'll be ranked at either division, 170 or 185. But he could just have some fun fights outside the rankings and not get knocked out in a minute. So, and lastly, we have Arnold Allen, mate. I don't think his weight cuts are bad, but he did talk about moving up to 155. He's still 32. He's chinny, but his chin held up just fine. I thought he was going to be more chinny against Silva, but his chin held up just fine. And he's good all-around game. Arguably beat Movsar Evloev. Say he wants to go up to 155. In a couple years, maybe the weight cuts get a little hard for him at 145, like Figgy, and he, like later on when he's older, moves up to 155. I think he's got good enough skill. He's just not powerful. So people maybe again, but I think he has a frame to fight all these guys. But maybe the young up and comers like a Ziam, a Torres, a Salkiel, when they're in their prime, and Arnold Allen's later on in his career, and he has to fight those guys, he has some trouble. But yeah, that's it. That's my whole video of fighters who need to eat. Most of these guys are talking about moving up a weight class. Maybe not need to eat, but it could help if they eat a little more. Do some Arman maxing or something. Go prime Volk, rugby Volk, heavyweight Volk, or Paddy Pimblett outside of camp. Type shit like that. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Let me know what your thoughts down in the comments and subscribe for more.